Hello everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Retro Respawn, my retro gaming podcast. I thought I'd start this episode just by giving you a quick background on who I am and why I've decided to do this. Well, I'm Callum, as I said. I'm a massive nerd, and I went to a retro gaming market recently and looked around and just thought, why don't I do something with all of this? I absolutely love this. This is one of my biggest passions. Why don't I do something? And I also listened to a retro gaming podcast called Remember the Game, which has been a massive inspiration for me for doing this. So here I am, giving it a go. So hopefully you'll like it. I've always had a massive passion for retro gaming. Back in 1997, which is a long time ago now, I got my first ever Super Nintendo for my 5th birthday. And I've still got it now. I've still got every game. I've never traded them in. I've never traded any of my retro collection in. And that is really where it all started for me. Since then I've always been a Nintendo kid. I dabbled here and there and everything else. So yeah, I will probably be looking back at games from the classic Nintendo, the Nintendo Entertainment System, all the way through to the 360 and PlayStation 3 era. The majority of all my favourite games do belong on the Super Nintendo. There is Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, and Zombies Ate My Neighbours. They're just a free to start with. I'm a massive Pokemon fan. I'm currently building up my collection. But as everyone who likes retro gaming knows, or is a retro game collector, it is a really, really expensive hobby. Not only that, but I am a massive comic book fan. Currently I'm reading The Amazing Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, Avengers, Wolverines, and then there's just a few odd ones here and there. But if this goes well, I might look at doing one on comic books, but yeah, not really sure yet. I would like to say I'm going to play every single game on original hardware, but unfortunately I don't think that's going to be possible, mainly due to price and time. I actually work, and I have a daughter who I'm really trying to get into gaming. She's currently obsessed with Donkey Kong and Luigi for some reason, so we spend a lot of time watching the original 1997 Donkey Kong Country series, and I'm thinking I might do something on that as well, because that was one of my favourite TV shows growing up as a kid. I thought I'd also just let you know what I have been playing this week and what retro games I have bought this week, because I seem to constantly be buying them, which is not a good thing for my wallet. But the new retro games I have for my collection, these are all Game Boy Advance ones. I've got Jurassic Park, The DNA Factor, Shrek 2, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Monster House, Lord of the Rings, Shark Tale, Elf, Chronicles of Narnia, Crash and Spyro, Super Pack Volume 1 and Madagascar. And the reason why I actually bought this pack was because I wanted Golden Sun, and it was cheaper to buy this pack with Golden Sun than it was to buy Golden Sun on its own. So I've currently got a load of film games which I probably won't play. I'll probably play Lord of the Rings. I mean, I've got it upstairs already, but it is a good Game Boy Advance game that I played as a kid. And then obviously I've been playing Mario 3D Land to get ready for this podcast. I'm currently playing a few Pokemon games. I'm playing Pokemon Sovereign of the Sky, which is a ROM hack, which I'm really enjoying, and then Pokemon Emerald, which I've never played before, and again I'm really enjoying it. New game wise, I'm about to start playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. I haven't had a chance to play that yet because I was trying to get ready for the podcast. But before we get on with it, I should probably do my plugs. Please follow me at the Retro Respawn on Instagram. That's currently all I am at the moment, but I will hopefully be doing some more social media. With that, sit back, plug in your controller, blow the dust off those cartridges, and respawn into a world where pixels ruled and cheat codes were sacred. So, Super Mario 3D Land released November 2011 worldwide and came out on the Nintendo 3DS, a console I hardly ever played and didn't get until Super Smash Bros 3DS came out, and I only rebought it because I had it for the Wii U and I knew you could get Mewtwo if you bought both, which really wasn't money saving at all. It was probably the worst way to get Mewtwo. But yeah, it's quite surprising I didn't play the 3DS that much, considering how much I loved the original DS. I played it a lot during school and spent so many hours playing it. I think the main reason why I didn't get a 3DS was because I was at uni and we were all playing the Xbox 360, and my biggest game at the time then was Gears of War 3, something I used to play all of my mates back from home. But yeah, but on to Super Mario 3D Land. I tried to find some fun facts on Super Mario Land, but I couldn't. All I found was it sold over 12.8 million copies, making it one of the top selling 3DS games. And then of course, as we all probably know, it brought back the Tanuki suit. Well, you'd only know that if you played it, obviously, and it sort of served as a foundation for its sequel game, Super Mario 3D World, which came out for the Wii U. Less said about that, the better. And then of course, like most Wii U games, apart from Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, it got remade for the Nintendo Switch. I'm not bitter about them two games at all. Yeah, what can I say about it? It's a really good game. It's not long. I think you could probably complete it in one sitting. It took me probably about 4 hours. I was trying to get all the coins and all the flags. So basically, on every level you get 3 coins you have to collect, which are hidden throughout it, which is quite fun. I mean, sometimes they do get a bit annoying, especially on the later levels. And then when you get to the end, if you reach the top of the flag and slide down, you get a 1-up as well as a gold flag for doing it, and you need to get that on every level. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It really felt like going back to the old Mario 3 days. I mean, there are some bad parts to it, unfortunately, but that's like most games. But it's just the usual Mario story. Princess Peach has been kidnapped by Bowser, and you've got to go and save her. Yeah, there's 8 worlds, like classic Mario games, apart from if you get all of the star coins and all of the flags, I think you unlock, I don't know, I got all of them anyway, but once you complete the game, you unlock the special world, which is another 8 worlds, which is really good, I think, because this was at the time before DLC really became a thing, and you know right now that probably would have been DLC, which is a bit of a crap thing, but that's how we are nowadays. But yeah, once you complete the game and then go into special world, once you complete the first world, you unlock Luigi, and Luigi has all his characteristics as he usually does in every game. Jump a bit higher than Mario, does a little weird floaty jump. I personally have always preferred playing as Luigi to Mario. A lot of people say Luigi's hard to control, but I don't ever find that. I find it really easy to control. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. So let's start with the power-ups. So you get a choice of the Fire Flower, Tanuki Mario, a Boomerang Mario, and a Propeller Box. The Propeller Box, basically you jump again, and you'll go high up in the sky, and then you can float down. It's only on certain levels that you actually need it for. It's quite good. It just does what it says on the tin, really. I mean, you can't really do the game without it. I wouldn't really call it a power-up as such, but yeah, it's alright. Tanuki suit, brilliant. I mean, it is a lifesaver, especially when you're trying to get the gold flag. I would always recommend, if you're trying to 100% this game, always keep a Tanuki leaf in your selection part, which is probably something else I should probably talk about. So in the game, if you haven't played this but you played New Super Mario Bros, basically on the touchscreen it will store an item for you, and you can touch that, power up, and it will come out into the world, and you can either pick it up if you haven't got any or swap it for the one that you've got. You do have to be careful, because if you've got like let's say a Tanuki leaf and your Fire Flower Mario, if you pick up another Tanuki leaf, it will then put a Fire Flower into your item that you stored. So it can be a bit dangerous if you're trying to keep a Tanuki leaf and accidentally swap it with an item you did not want to. The Boomerang Mario suit is pretty good. I didn't like using it as much because I find the Fire Flower is a lot better, but you basically just throw a Hammer Rose Boomerang and it comes back. It works exactly the same as the Fire Flower, apart from you can't really, with the Fire Flower you can burn plants on the floor and get coins sometimes, but yeah, with the Boomerang all it does is knock enemies, so I would not recommend getting that. But yeah, the Tanuki suit is an absolute lifesaver. It's a great way to help you pick up coins. It's a great way, like I said, to get the gold flag, and it's also the best way to cheese most of the levels. The majority of them, once you've got it, you can just fly. Well, not fly, sorry, hover. You do like a little floaty jump. And pretty much I kept one always in my back pocket, and that is how I did most of the levels so quick. The only drawback from it is you can't fly like you could in Mario 3, but I guess that was more due to the 3D aspect of it. It's a top-down Mario rather than a side-scrolling Mario, which, I mean, it would have been nice to fly, but yeah, like I said, I get why you couldn't do it. You also get, with the Tanuki suit, you also get like the brown leaf, which is the standard one, and then a silver leaf, which you can use like you did in Mario 3, where when you jump and press R, you'll turn into like a statue Mario, and you'll be invincible, or invulnerable, invincible. I don't know. People can't hit you while you're doing it, which is pretty good. You can also get a magic star like you can in most Marios, which is a great way to rack up lives. The only annoying thing is it doesn't show you your points like you used to get. You know, you get like 100, 200, 400, and they go up, and then you get your life. On this one, you just hit like 3 or 4 enemies and you get your lives. I found lives a bit redundant in this game. I think by the time I finished it, I had about 340 lives, and that wasn't even me trying to like farm lives. It's just obviously every time you get to the top of a flag, you get a life. 100 coins, you get a life. So yeah, it did become a bit pointless, I'd say. And you find that you won't really die a lot on most levels. There's certain levels which you'll find you'll die a lot on. They tend to be in the special zone. There's like this horrible, absolute horrible thing where there's like a purple shadow Mario, and he just follows everything you do. And I find trying to get the coins with him chasing me, I got killed a lot. Or I'd just be really stupid. I'd just jump off and die. I don't even know what I'd be doing. Sometimes I do things and I'm like, Callum, you're the best at this game. Other times I do things and I'm like, how? Why and how did you do that? And then I found I died a few times on the bosses, and that was more because I was rushing it rather than trying to be patient. I'll go into the bosses in a minute. But yeah, so there's 8 worlds, and I think each world has about 5 levels, 4 normal levels. Sometimes there is a toad house, and other times there's like this purple box which you go in and it just gives you like something you've got to do quick. I think one of them was like kill like 3 enemies and then you get a coin. You don't have to do them. Like I said as well, you don't have to collect all the golden coins, but by collecting them you do unlock special world, and in the special world you have to get every single coin in order to unlock the last Bowser's Castle. And it is pretty cool because rather than having a Bowser Castle on every world, it swaps between either a Bowser's Castle or an airship. And in the Bowser's Castle, obviously you face off against Bowser, and then in the airship levels you face off against Boom Boom, or is it Pom Pom? The female version with the boomerang. And they're quite, each time you face them as well, they're like boss stage changes. There's one where you've got to face them both, which is pretty easy because one stays at the top and one stays at the bottom, and as long as you hit one you can just run up the top and hide and then hit that one. There's another one where there's spikes all on the floor, but again that's quite easy. Sometimes you'll find you'll die because you're just, like I said, just rushing it. And then you have Bowser's Castle, which is very similar to Super Mario, no, not Super Mario Bros, Mario Bros, the original one, where he's on a bridge, you've got to get to the other side, press a button, or an axe in that case, but this one's a button. You'll defeat the bridge, or you break the bridge, sorry, you don't defeat the bridge, you break the bridge, he'll fall into lava, then you go to the end, jump on a flagpole. I mean, it's pretty good. Sometimes it's not just the bridge, it's a bit weird because you sort of get to a section where he'll be firing fireballs at you. Once you get to the end of that section, then you'll get onto the bridge, and sometimes it's easy to get to it, other times there's obstacles. Sometimes Bowser just won't jump out of the way, you've sort of got to like jump around him, which can be hard, but again, keep a Tanuki leaf on you because it is a godsend. Honestly, I can't explain how useful that item is compared to everything else. And in the special zones of each Bowser's Castle, you'll fight Dry Bones Bowser rather than normal Bowser. I don't know why, because at the end of the game, when Bowser falls into lava, he doesn't turn into Dry Bones Bowser. He just stays his normal self. Then all of a sudden you go into the special worlds and he's just there as Dry Bones. There's no real explanation there for it. But I mean, it's nice to see Driver and Bowser back. 'Cause the only other time we see him is in a Mario Kart game. The majority of these levels though are really good and really well designed, and I loved it. Other ones I didn't. There's a few where the camera sort of pushes you, so you have to keep moving. But then the level itself is quite slow. You usually find it on the airship ones, where it's like you can only move as long as the camera's moving. And I found it just got a bit tedious, and I was like, can we hurry up please? And then there's obviously the horrible things that Mario has sometimes, where it's like a blue and red platform, and every time you jump it swaps to a different colour, which I don't know why. The amount of times I'd be standing on a blue and then an enemy would come at me and I'd jump and forget to move on to the red and be like, oh yeah, the floor's disappeared. But I think we've all probably done that once or twice. So on some of the levels it does try to get you to use the 3D, which can help. It's used in a few pipes. There'll be some blocks, and when you put on the 3D it will change the way you view the blocks and help you get to where the coin is. I personally don't enjoy the 3D on the 3DS. I like it when I'm watching a cutscene. So I find that when I play Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, the two games that are probably my favourite 3DS games, they're probably some of my favourite games of all time as well, but I find that I'll play the game normally, and then as soon as it gets to a cutscene, then I'll turn on the 3D. But the 3D is hard to use because you have to leave your console in a certain position for it to work. I don't know if anyone's used it or not. And if you don't, it goes really fuzzy and can give you a bit of a headache. But it's Nintendo, and once Nintendo have a gimmick, they will force that gimmick down your throat. They'll make the touchscreen like need to be used, even though it doesn't need to be used. I think we've all had it on the original Zelda games of the original DS, like Spirit Tracks and that, where you had to walk around with it. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to have the 3D on, and it doesn't really impact your game that much. Sometimes it can help you land on certain things, but I didn't find it that much. I just heard it from other people say it. Then also, when collecting the gold coins, I found I died a lot, and this is something that I noticed that Nintendo have started putting a lot of their platformers. The more you die, you will get your chance to have a P block, which basically means you're invincible, nothing can kill you unless you fall off, which is a great way to insult you, because when it comes up I'm always like, I promise you game, I'm not actually that bad at this, I'm just trying to get that gold coin and I just can't. But I mean, it's pretty good. I didn't use it at all because I feel like it's cheating, but for some people I can probably imagine it's quite important. When I tried 100% Donkey Kong Country Returns a little while ago, there's the amount of times that it'd come up and be like, use this invincibility thing. I don't know how they did it on that game, and I'd be like, oh, I'm so tempted to do it just to get through this level because I'm bored of playing it for like the 50th time. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. It's a great Mario game. It's short, but that's what you get when it comes to a handheld Mario, really. Like I said, if you like the classic Marios like Mario 3, then yeah, I definitely recommend giving it a go. I mean, it's just a shame that it just suffers from what the majority of all DS and 3DS games suffer from, is it'll probably forever be stuck on there. I don't think they'll ever remake it or anything. It's definitely too short of a game to ever be remade, but I can't see them bringing it out on anything else. Well, saying that, unless what the rumours were about the Switch 2, which I know the Switch 2 is already out at the moment, but there was talks of there being a screen that you can attach to the top of the Switch, and anyone who has a Switch 2 can see that there is also a USB-C at the top and bottom. So I mean, if that's the way it is, that'd be brilliant, because there's a lot of cracking games on the 3DS and DS that I hope don't get lost to time. But yeah, I'd 100% recommend picking it up. I, here in the UK, got it from a red shop that anyone who knows is probably one of the only shops at the moment that sells what's it called? Can't think. Come on, sells pre-owned games, and I got it in there for like a tenner. If you look on eBay or any of those sort of shops, you can probably find it for a lot cheaper. Well, no, maybe not a lot cheaper, but a bit cheaper. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. Okay, before I rate it, is there anything else I want to say about it? Yeah, I'll quickly go on to the enemies. So Koopas are in it. Annoyingly, though, you can't pick up the Koopa shell. and I don't know why. There's these new enemies. They're a bit like thwomps, but they sort of follow you, and then you have to jump, and then they jump, and then you can sort of go around them. They're pretty cool. Bombs are in it. You can also get raccoon bomb, which are just more annoying than anything. Goombas and raccoon Goombas. You get boos and big boos. Big boos. Flying Goombas. Piranha plants are in it. There's also a piranha plant that fires ink, and it'll fire it at the screen, and it will just go a bit. I don't know if you've ever played Mario Kart on the DS, but there's like ink blots which sort of obscure your vision a little bit, not too much. And then but basically there's just standard Mario enemies. Also, probably one last thing to say before I wrap this all up. Once you complete all 16 worlds, the original 8 worlds and then the 8 special worlds, you collect all the gold coins and all the flags, and you complete every level with Mario and then every level with Luigi. Good thing is though, if you collect all the flags with one of the brothers, you don't have to collect them with the other, but you unlock like a super hard level, which I haven't had the chance to do. I did try my best to get it done before this podcast, but I just started to really flag after a while, because I completed it in such a quick time. When I went back to playing it through again with Luigi, I think I did all of the original 8 worlds, and I think I got to like world 5 by the end of it. Yeah, so I haven't managed to do that. I'm hoping I'll one day go back to this and I can do just add it onto another podcast that I'm doing. But yeah, so all in all, not a bad game. So I'll finish off my review here. I picked this up from a red trading shop in the UK, which is the only one that sells pre-owned games now. I'm pretty sure you could probably all know what one I'm talking about. But yeah, I picked it up for a tenner. It's cheaper on eBay, but I have this thing where I have to get it here and now. Yeah, I think £10 for it was a really good offer. I mean, I had a lot of fun. Like I said, I completed it in a few hours. If I had paid full price for this at the time it came out, I probably would have been a bit annoyed that it's so short. Yeah, I do not think it'd probably be worth what the £30-40 it was when it came out, and I can't really ever imagine playing it again like I would most other games. I'll probably play it again in a few years, but yeah. But no, what would I score this out of 10? I'd probably give this a 7 out of 10. It's really fun. I enjoyed it, and like I said, it's just something you pick up. It'll give you a few hours to kill, and it's just one of those great Mario games. I don't think there really is a bad Mario game. They're just not brilliant Mario games. We're looking at you, Mario Sunshine. Even though I actually really enjoyed that. The one game I didn't like was Mario 64 on the 64, because I don't like the way the camera controls. But I'm sure one day I'll get to a review on that, and then I can moan about it there. But yeah, that's the end of my review. Thank you all so much for listening. There are so many other retro gaming podcasts out there. There are so many gaming podcasts that actually, just in general, there's probably a load of different podcasts out there with a lot better hosts. But I will get better at this, I promise. But yeah, thank you for listening. I am looking at probably doing my next review in 2 weeks' time, and I'm thinking of going back to the old days of the SNES, and I'm going to look at one of the most grossest games I ever played as a kid, which I thought was hilarious at the time. And he is someone, as a kid, I always aspired to be, and that is Boogerman, a pick and flick adventure. That's all I'll say on it, because it is just a game that you have to play, you have to experience. But yeah, thank you for listening. Look, if you do want to keep up with the podcast, please follow me. Like I said, on Instagram, I am the Retro Respawn. I'm also the luckiest loser in most places, or luckiest loser 92. But yeah, thank you for listening, and have a great day.